Go.
Hi class, it's Miss Amber. I'm going to read you one of my favorite books today. It's called Caps for Sale by Esra Slobotkina. And many of you have heard this story before, so I'm hoping that you'll read it along with me. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was like no ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. First, he carried his own checked cap, and then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. So he thought, I'll go for a walk in the country. And he did. He walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place to take a nap, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb his caps. Then he put his hand on them to feel if they were very straight. First he checked his own checked cap, then his gray caps, his brown caps, his blue caps, and on the very top, his red caps. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. And when he woke up, he was refreshed and rested, but oh no, something's wrong. Before standing up, he felt his hand to make sure his caps were all there, but all he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He even looked behind the tree. There are no caps. And then he looked up in the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch was a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray, brown, blue, or red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only looked back at him, and they said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both of his hands, and he said a little louder, help me say it, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both of their hands back at him, and they said, say it with me, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." Now he felt quite angry, so he stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet and said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." By this time, the peddler was really very angry, so he stamped both of his feet and he shook his hands and he yelled, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet and shook their hands and said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." At last, the peddler became so angry that he took his cap off his head and he threw it to the ground. You know what those monkeys did? Each monkey pulled their cap off their head and threw their caps to the ground, and they floated down very, very slowly. So the peddler picked up each set of caps. First, the gray caps, then the blue caps, and the brown caps, and the red caps, and he put them on his head. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. I'll be reading to you every week, and I'm glad I got to share this with you. Bye.